Here's what I wish you knew about meditation from someone who used to always say, "Oh, that's not for me." Okay, so let me guess. You've tried meditation and it doesn't work for you. You've heard about all the great benefits like lower blood pressure, reduced stress, better focus, improved memory, all these mental health benefits. You want the calm and the focus that comes from meditation, but sitting still and quiet is uncomfortable or doesn't feel accessible for you. This is exactly what I was saying a couple years ago. And a couple years ago, I was overwhelmed and overstimulated and overworked and overtired all the time. Like every minute of every day, I was overwhelmed and at my maximum capacity. I thought, I don't have time to meditate. I need my life to be easier, not harder. I thought that sitting still with my big, overwhelming emotions would be harder than continuing on without meditating. But really, I had it backwards. Since the act of meditation was difficult for me, I thought that would make my life more difficult, when actually it's exactly what I needed. So now, a couple years later, I feel less overwhelmed and more in control of my emotions and myself than I ever have before. And if I miss my 10-minute morning meditation, I truly miss it. And I notice that I didn't give myself that time. So here's what I wish I knew a few years ago. You can start with just 3 minutes. There's no rule that says meditation has to happen in 1 hour increments. And I, in fact, would highly recommend that if you are usually active and busy and there's constant noise and activity going on in your life, I would recommend you start with 3 or 5 minutes. Don't go from 0 to a week-long silent meditation retreat. Don't go from 0 to 1 hour. Give yourself an achievable entry into this practice. So 3 minutes is fine. Start there. I mean, start with 30 seconds if you can. Like, you just have to start doing it. And if you make the starting point so grandiose and unachievable, then for sure you're not gonna start meditating. So just do 3 minutes. That's gonna be enough. In my experience, 3 minutes, from 0 to 3 minutes, is enough to notice a difference. 2, please don't beat yourself up for having thoughts. Your mind is gonna have thoughts. That's what it does. Your mind is like an expert at having thoughts. So don't be disappointed when thoughts are happening and you're trying to meditate. Think of meditation as constantly coming back from distraction. Forget about existing in this peaceful, thoughtless place. Remove that concept and consider meditation as repeatedly returning from distraction. This is what the practice is, and this is how you gain all those benefits of increased focus and memory power. It's learning to refocus over and over again. So skip the part where you beat yourself up for getting distracted and just practice the coming back. Like, this is what I'm doing when I sit for meditation. I sit there for a moment, I watch one breath go by, and then I have a thought. And then I notice I'm thinking, and then I come back and watch another breath happen. And then I have a thought in another direction, and then I come back to the breath. This is what meditation is. So don't imagine yourself in this peaceful place and there's no thoughts and everything is still. Like, that's not what it's going to be like probably when you start meditating. Please don't think that having thoughts means you had an unsuccessful meditation. Sometimes I'm thinking the entire time I'm in meditation, and that's just the way it goes some days. The only way to unsuccessfully meditate is to not meditate. So thoughts will happen. That's normal. Practice coming back. And number 3, it's easier to just not meditate, for sure. But you should do it anyway. I didn't do it because it was hard for years and years, even though I knew the benefits. I kept choosing not to be uncomfortable for a couple minutes, and it didn't serve me. It seemed at the time like I was avoiding some discomfort by not sitting still, but I was actually perpetuating my entire day being uncomfortable. Like I said a minute ago, I was so overwhelmed all the time that I couldn't focus at work. I kept bursting into tears spontaneously, like multiple times a week. I was living like right at my maximum edge of tolerance. Although it seemed like sitting still would be difficult and uncomfortable, my entire life was really difficult and uncomfortable until I learned how to sit still. So I understand the perspective of not wanting to do it because it's hard and uncomfortable, but I really woke up to the benefits of meditation when I flipped that around backwards. And it's actually too uncomfortable to continue not meditating. Maybe you want to choose to try a new method like this before reaching your rock bottom of discomfort. So maybe it's easier to not do it, but I think you should do it anyway. And my absolute best tip for someone new to meditation is to start right now. Literally exit this video, set a 3-minute timer on your phone, and then put your phone down and sit there and think about your breath. And when you get distracted, oh yeah, I'm breathing, the breath, okay. And then you get distracted, oh yeah, the breath. And then your timer goes off. And then you can go back to scrolling if you want to, or go about your day. Or start with 30 seconds. For the next 30 seconds, watch 5 slow cycles of breath. Like, you have to start somewhere. So what reason do you have to not start right now? Just wondering. What's your good reason for not watching 5 cycles of breath go by? I promise it's really good for you. My name's Bren. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher, and you can follow me on Instagram, Practice with Bren on Instagram. I share little moving meditations, little tips and tricks to not feel overwhelmed during your day, and some other yoga practices that can help you feel like in control of your emotions and empowered and confident in your life. You can also find me at practicewithbren.com, where I have lots of yoga videos, and on Practice with Bren YouTube channel, there's yoga classes and meditations that you can follow along with. Go meditate.